My name is Kerry. I'm from North Carolina. I came across the clinic here because I'm in the midst of a divorce, and I was having a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of rumination, a lot of depression and anxiety, a lot of issues around just ruminating at night and not sleeping, just thinking about all the negative things. And one thing that I was really needing was kind of a neural reset. I studied a lot of neurobiology, and one thing I always think about is, when you get into these depressive thoughts or anxious thoughts, we really have these neural pathways that are really strong and beaten down. And with this plant medicine, one thing that really happens is that it kind of jumbles up your neural synapses, and it gives you different synapses to try to travel down. And so what I'm really focused on is being positive, living with gratitude, living with forgiveness, letting go of expectations, and just being free from all the expectations in life, and just living a good life, being happy no matter what comes at me. And so for me, the biggest thing coming to this place was, realizing that there's a lot more, and life is a lot more complicated. I have another thought process too, as far as science goes. When I look at science, when you look 50 years into the past, they used to put uranium rocks on people's kidneys for kidney stones, and they discovered that it gave them cancer. 100 years before that, when you were sick, they did bloodletting because they said your blood was poisoned. And I don't think modern medicine has caught up with the healing power of these plant medicines yet. For me, I've done my research, and I really think that this is a very viable path for anyone that has really strong neural pathways in a negative sense, whether it's from addiction, anxiety, depression, fear of death. And for me, this experience really allowed me to kind of let go of all those negative thoughts, and really just focus on the positive, and just letting the universe take me on the path that I'm supposed to be on. Just enjoy life. That's it. It's too short. We're here for a short time, and we want to make the most of it. And living in a negative thought process, or getting stuck in a pattern. I see so many people in the States, and it's a common saying, but they live a quiet life of desperation. And this is a pathway out of it. It's a pathway to explore more. It's a pathway to see that there's more to life than just going to work and coming home and paying the bills. And so for me, that was what I was after. And it was something that I think I really did achieve. It's something that I think I'm going to incorporate into the rest of my life going forward. I've never been like a drug addict. I've never had hard issues. But for me, it's the negative self-talk. It's the rumination. Going through the divorce, there's a lot of negative self-talk. So, this is a way of me letting it go, and understanding it's all going to be okay, and we're here for one life, and we better make the most of it. So I feel really blessed to have this experience here. The clinic was phenomenal. The staff was very welcoming. From day one, I felt like family here. Everyone was beautiful, with great intentions. I had a lot of great one-on-one time with the staff, from just eating meals to going to the beach, going snorkeling, taking the plant medicine, walking through the different journeys with shamans that have a lot of love and respect for this plant medicine. And it really opened up my eyes to there's another path, and there's more to life. I found out about Ahal Iboga from a simple Google search. I made a couple of phone calls. I met Apollo. Apollo was really welcoming, very attentive, checked on me every step of the way. I probably signed up a month before I got here. He checked in with me every week, making sure I was feeling good, that I was ready for the experience, and he kind of really helped me get prepared for this, in the sense of, kind of coaching me through the pre-medicine steps of setting expectations, or not expectations, but intention. Set intentions and really focus on what I want to get out of this. And so, after I spoke with Apollo, I really felt welcomed, and, this was the place for me. And then, the second I got here, I had a phenomenal liaison, Ramon, who I spent a lot of time with, and we had a lot of conversation about the metaphysical, about life, about energy, about achieving the happiness inward instead of outward. And then from there, Dr. Lizzie really made me feel welcomed. We had a phenomenal experience. We went to the state fair last night and just kind of walked around and just enjoyed Playa del Carmen. And so not only was I here on a healing journey, but I really got to experience Playa del Carmen and all that it had to offer. And I think there's something beautiful about exploring new places and seeing different experiences. And so, everyone was phenomenal. And like I said, the second I got in touch with them, I felt welcomed, and it was like the place for me to come to. I think the most meaningful part of the process for me was experiencing the love and the joy and the letting go of expectations, and just being happy with yourself. Just finding that joy and understanding that this life and this world is way more complicated than we can understand or grasp. And the plant medicine it's as real as reality itself. And these molecules that we experience, we also make endogenously, and being able to experience it is a life-changing experience. So the joy, the love, the letting go of expectations and just being. I think give myself grace. Don't hold so much pressure on myself. I had a lot of pressure to accomplish things. From the States, there's a big rat race to make money. And for me, it's of course, we need to make money to afford the things we need in life, but that's never the goal. The goal is freedom. And so, I've always looked for financial freedom versus making as much money as possible. And so from this experience, it's just that letting go and having the positive vibes and letting the world manifest what is supposed to happen. And when you're in that negative rumination cycle of depression and anxiety and ruminating and not sleeping because you have negative thoughts racing through your head, it doesn't serve you, and it only makes you more negative. And so for me, it's living in positivity. It's manifesting. It's attracting what you want to attract in life versus chasing what you want in life. I have a beautiful family. They're very supportive. My parents were really nervous. They are baby boomers. They do not consume alcohol or cannabis or any drugs for that matter. So for them, it was really scary, but they do trust in me. And they say if this is right for you, you should do it. I think kind of having that respect for my parents, allowing me, not that I needed permission, but that they were accepting of it, made me feel really positive about it. Again, they don't like drugs whatsoever. And so it made me feel really good that they supported my decision. And then again, I'm going through a divorce. I've really been trying to live in gratitude and forgiveness through the process with my wife, because it's a very difficult situation, and there could be a lot of resentment and betrayal and abandonment. And for me, it's letting go of all those negative feelings and just really focusing on gratitude and forgiveness and just letting go of expectations, and the world is gonna take care of itself, and what is meant to be is what's going to happen. And just live with peace. Be at peace with everything, let go of expectations. Just love people, forgive people, and wake up with gratitude every morning, because this is a short life we get to live here, and there's no reason to live in a negative mindset. Everything is going to be okay, and it's a rebirth. I'm here for a rebirth. I had behaviors that formed into patterns over, 39 years of my life. And what I'm really trying to do here is break up old behaviors and patterns and start putting into my life really positive things that are going to serve me, like meditation, self-affirmations, movement is a really big thing for me. Continue to move and just tell my old self that it's not the end of the world. There is more. I will find love again. My son is going to be okay through the process. He won't be damaged. And all I can do is give him as much love as possible and be the best co-parent I can be with my wife and have a really healthy, meaningful relationship with her versus holding resentment. Let go of the resentment and the negativity around divorce. And just live with grace, give her grace. She's going through her own issues and just be happy with everything. That's it. That's it. Just live with gratitude, live with forgiveness. I go back to the neural pathway thing. So studying neurobiology, what happens is that you have to think of it like a river. And if that river has a bunch of water flowing through it, or those synapses have a lot of thoughts traveling down that pathway, the more you think about it, the deeper that river gets, the wider that river gets. What this plant medicine does is that it jumbles up those synapses a little bit so you can try to find a different pathway. And you can try to find thought processes that serve you. And then the other thing too is, this is the start of the journey. This is something that will help begin it. And I think the work is going to be on the other side as well for the next 6 months or maybe a lifetime. And it's going to be focusing on the positive and finding the joy of life. And it's being positive and finding gratitude. Be happy you have food on your plate. Be happy that you have family connections. And even if you don't have food insecurity, or if you don't have meaningful relationships, just know on the other side you can. And if you can find those small little points of life that give you joy, and if you can find like-minded people in a healing journey, engage in activities with folks that you like, stay away from negative, bad influences that brought you to this place, and just really work on becoming a new person. Focus on the small things, find a community, do things with people that are positive influences on your life. 1,000%. I was very nervous coming into it. I was a little scared of what this might entail, but when I got here, I just had a sense of calm and peace. Everyone was very welcoming, and the second I walked in, I felt like I was at home, and I felt like everyone here treated me like family. I strongly recommend this place, and I can't say enough about the staff and the welcoming and the guidance through the journey, and also the support after. We're gonna have phone calls after and go through some of my different experiences. And again, the work isn't done. It's just beginning. And so Ahal Iboga really embraces that, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of this family, and I'm gonna tell you, I've enjoyed it so much. I already plan to come back. I want to come back and bring some friends that are in bad places as well, that I know that they would experience a benefit from the plant medicine, as well as the spiritual, mental, and emotional work that comes along with it. And so, there's a lot of people that are hesitant, or Iboga, ayahuasca, bufu. They might have a little bit of a negative, I wouldn't even say negative connotation, but like there's people that are wary of it. Exclusive. I'm a relatively religious person. And I think all of these tools together help bring together a better life experience. And so, I look at it as like another tool in my toolbox. And I'm really excited that I found this place and I found this medicine. And I'm excited to continue my journey in an addiction cycle. if you're in a negative thought process, that's where I was. A lot of ruminating, a lot of staying up at night, a lot of depression and anxiety. And for me, this is like a hard restart. It's a hard reboot. And again, it's a way to break up negative thought processes, and don't be afraid. And the people here are very loving, and they're here to help.